Hi, how are you today? I don't know if you could tell. I got a new sign, but you can't read it, and that makes me sad. It actually says inspire. I really can't see it, and that really hurts my feelings. So let's take a closer look. There's my Frida Kahlo tea light candle, my little baby lamp. See? Inspire. My beautiful roses. And this guy, his name is Olumel. And he is a Disney Sea exclusive, which means you can only get him in Disneyland or Disney Sea. Japan, somewhere in Japan. They have instead of Disneyland, it's called Disney Sea, SEA, because it's on the ocean. Sea. Makes sense, right? Anyways, so when my brother went to Japan, my youngest brother went to Japan, he brought me back that, and I thought it was the sweetest thing ever because it's an exclusive to Disney Sea and you can't get it anywhere else. And he was so super excited about that, which makes me happy because I love turtles and he knows how much I love turtles and he loves turtles. So it was meaningful to both of us because we both have an affinity for turtles. So let's just get right to it. Delila has been going through it. Now, the weather in Texas, I am so sorry to any of you who are here and who suffer from allergies the way that I do, because this weather right now, every single week, we have had no less than 1 day of thunderstorms and lightning, which is cool, whatever we need the rain, great. However, that combined with the next day being 95 degrees and higher, it's really troublesome on my sinuses. I don't know about anybody else. So I weighed in yesterday, right before my doctor's appointment. I am officially 2.2 pounds down since last week. So that's good. I went to the OB yesterday. And when I was there, we started talking about, health. She wanted to know my history because it was my first time being there. So I had to go over my history with her. Started talking about PCOS because I have decided that I wanted to be tested for it. And she agrees that I need to be, considering I have all but one of the symptoms, or all but one of the criteria to meet the diagnosis, which we don't know yet because it's done by a blood test. So I got my blood test done and now it's just waiting. While we were in there and we were talking, she started talking to me about how every other doctor will do this, about how losing weight could help with these symptoms. The problem with that is I did tell her, I was honest, I've lost a substantial amount of weight more than once in the past. The most I've ever lost was 150 pounds, and it didn't do anything. Like, as far as those symptoms, they didn't get relieved. I still had, the darkening around the neck, which they say is a sign of insulin resistance. I still had the darkening on the cheeks. I don't know why, but this one has always been lighter than this one. This one's always been darker. I don't know why. I still had the extremely heavy periods. I did express that, I have had my period longer than, it's my longest lasting relationship. I've had it for 30 plus years. I started the day after my 9th birthday. I'm 42. So I've had my period for 33 years. And in those 33 years, I have had extremely heavy periods. I've had extremely long lasting periods. I've had irregular periods. Only recently did it start becoming a little bit more regular to where, average will be, only recently did it start becoming a little bit more regular where on average, I know that I'm going to start between day 28 and day 35 Whereas before it was just like total surprise every single time, with the exception of the fact that I could kind of tell when I'm going to start because I get really horrible symptoms about a week and a half, somewhere between a week and 2 weeks before I start my period, which literally means that I'm having symptoms like the entire month, because not only that, after I've finished actually bleeding, I'm still symptomatic. So I still have the cramping, I still have the bloating, I still have the weight gain, I still have, the acne, the breakouts, like I still have all of those things. And sometimes that literally leads right into the next set of symptoms that are for the starting of the next period, but anyways, so I did tell her that it never changed my periods. I've been on birth control. I've been on many different forms, just trying to find something that would work. None of them have worked. Not for me yet. We're sort of leaning towards, it probably is this. It probably is this more so than it possibly being anything else. But we just don't know. So we're waiting for the blood test to come back, and we'll go from there. And when we were sitting there talking, we started talking about losing weight and all this stuff. And I just started crying. I started literally like, who goes to the doctor and starts crying? Me. I mean, if it was a psychiatrist, I could understand that. A therapist, a counselor, I could understand that far more than the OB. I went to the OB and was crying because we were talking about weight loss. And I was just being honest, that I have been able to lose a substantial amount of weight in a short amount of time, more than once in my life. But I don't like the attention. The attention that it gives me, I don't like the questions. I don't like people saying, oh, congratulations, you've lost so much weight, blah, 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 whatever. I'm so proud of you. Like, well, why weren't you proud of me before? Like, didn't I do something prior to this that would, cause you to feel proud of me? I don't understand. Why is weight the only reason why you're now feeling the need to talk to me about pride? Since when is that the only thing that I've done, that would cause somebody to feel some pride in me? I don't like the attention from men. I've talked about this before, but it's just the reality. I don't like the cat calls. I don't like the whistling at you. I don't like the eyes. I just don't like the attention. I just don't. I gained weight in the first place. I know now because I was trying to hide. I was trying to be invisible at, 300 pounds. And losing weight takes away that invisibility cloak that I've figured out happens when you're, severely overweight. And I just sat there talking to her about this, and like even now the tears just well up inside of me because I can't help it. It's traumatizing mentally to me to even think about being in a position where I have to face those things again. And I'll be honest with you, I think that is why I haven't been able to, sort of break this 355 to 365, like this 10 pound, like barrier. My entire life, 296 was where I was. And I can't remember an age before that weight. Outside of being 9 years old and being, 102 pounds. I'll never forget that. But outside of 9, I remember being 16 and I was, 296. I remember being 18, 296. I mean, 25, 296. I would always go up or down 3 pounds. Like it was 296 was like that was my weight. And, I'd fluctuate 2 to 3 pounds in either direction here and there, but 296 was where I was. Changed when I hit about 35 and I started developing carpal tunnel. And when that happened, I started to gain weight. And I got up to like 340 was my highest recorded weight. Then I dropped the weight and I was back down to 296. I moved to Texas. I had a traumatic event happen while I was here, and during COVID, I gained over 100 pounds. I had dropped down. I was 230, like something pounds. Like it was between 230 and 235. I was somewhere there because I was actively working out. You know, David and I had completely changed the way we ate. You know, we were really working on the weight loss for both of us, not just me, for both of us, just to be healthier. And I had a traumatic event happen, and you know, when you suffer a loss, some people can bounce back from that and some people can't. And for me, I didn't bounce back mentally, physically, emotionally. Instead, I gained back every single pound I had lost, plus another 100 plus pounds during COVID. And it wasn't COVID that made me gain the weight. It was just the things that had happened, and I just couldn't. So, you know, and then I started becoming really sick. I was diagnosed with COVID a few times, and during that time, I had one time where I was just bedridden for almost 6 whole months. I could not get out of bed longer than to use the restroom. I was maybe able to shower myself, you know, 2 or 3 times a week, if even that. I had no physical strength. I had no energy. I had nothing in me. I couldn't breathe. Like my oxygen, my O2 stats they were dropping. Like they would be between like 60 something and like 75. And that is very low. That is very, very low. So I was having trouble breathing. So I couldn't breathe. So I couldn't sleep. I couldn't function. I just couldn't function. So I was stuck in my bed. I couldn't cook. And even if I could cook, if I did that day, I would be able to do nothing else. Nothing, with the exception of maybe getting up to use the restroom. But I couldn't shower. I couldn't do laundry. I couldn't do anything. I had to pick one thing every couple of days. Like I couldn't even do one thing every day. It was like one thing every few days. So one day I would do laundry. Well, David would work, you know, and there were times where I just couldn't even do that. So he would do it, you know, and I felt terrible because he was working all the time, and then he would come home and then he would still have to do the chores that I could have been doing because I'm home. I wasn't working. I wasn't doing anything, but I was just severely sick. And I gained a lot of weight. And now I'm stuck in this, like, in this space. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little afraid. I'm a little afraid that I'm not going to be able to move past this. I'm terrified. I'm terrified that I'm not going to be able to break past this mental, like, block that I have that keeps me afraid of, like, of attention, negative or positive. It keeps me afraid of people. It keeps me afraid of being able to live my best life. I don't want that. I'm trying really hard to work on that. I really am. I'm journaling about it. I'm talking about it as best as I can. I mean, this is the biggest vulnerable, like, I don't know how to be more vulnerable than to put my issues out there online. for all to see. Will everybody in the world see it? No, absolutely not. But will enough people, even one person, see it that's going to cause me discomfort? Absolutely. Even if that one person is only David. This isn't something that I really talk to him about. Like, I don't talk to anybody about this, outside of like my therapist, because it's a very uncomfortable like subject for me, and it's a very touchy subject for me, and it's a very scary subject for me, but it's reality for me. So I would very much love to hear your thoughts and opinions on something like that. And maybe you go through the same thing, and I would love to hear about it. And I would love to see how I would love to hear how you are working through it, or have worked through it and gotten past that, because I'm scared. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm scared. But with that being said, I hope you guys are having a great week. I want to hear all about it. I want to hear about your ups, your downs, your ins and your outs. You already know. I want to be able to give you a virtual hug. I cannot express just how grateful I am to have you there supporting me in this journey, and to be able to support you back. Hope you have a great week.